Hello YouTube, hope everyone's doing good. In today's episode, our goal was basically to see if the transmission worked. That's why we were starting it on the floor to see if the axles were actually going to spin.
Now we're turning over.
After trying to time it for a long time, several hours, we think it might start. Toilet paper earplugs. Got some going on. We're inside. Let's see.
Ready?
Yeah. So at this point, when we saw the transaxle was actually spinning, things seemed pretty positive, like it's gonna work, but we still can't be quite sure. We opted for installing the transmission and engine as one piece just to try to save some time. And it ended up being easier than I thought it would be. Basically just got a car jack under the tranny and an ATV jack under the engine, and everything was pretty much easy to slide around from there. It has to be like here. For the mustache part. Be a man. Hold on, you're working against the tires. Now the back bumper on this bus had been giving us headaches for quite some time because the bolts were completely frozen in rust. So we decided to just grind them off to make some extra space. Right. So we got number one off. Now it's to get number two, and bumper should be coming off soon. As you can see, it's a big rusted mess, but the bumper's coming off for the first time. That's definitely going to give us more space to be able to work under it. Well, that gives us about 4 more inches of space so we don't have to lift up the bus. So we have the back end of the bus lifted now. Getting ready to just slide the engine and transmission in and see if it's gonna fit. Now this process of sliding it around in my garage ended up to be a little tricky because the transmission kept trying to slide off of the car jack. So basically we just kind of had to do it little by little, making sure that it wasn't going to completely fall off. This piece that you're about to see me grind isn't original metal. It's basically just a piece of sheet metal that they welded on or riveted on and just bonded over. So our jacks didn't go up any higher. We thought it would just be easier to cut out that piece of sheet metal. All that's left to do now is to put the transmission into its bushing in the back and secure it with 2 bolts, and then there's these 2 bolts that hold the engine and transmission at the top, and then of course the mustache bar. What we found to be easier to align everything was to make sure the mustache bar is all the way in before you try lining up everything else. If not, it's a big pain. So for those of you who've never seen how this goes back here, there's these 2 bolts that go into like a bushing in the back of the transmission, and that's what kind of holds it in place. So
This goes up.
we're about to mount that. He actually had that upside down there, so. This was us struggling to line up the mount in the back until we decided to mallet up the mustache bar, and everything just kind of lined up into place. Well, our shop light broke, and our other one is as hot as the sun, so we're gonna call it a night. We just finished putting the bolts that attach it to the body, just not the mustache bar, so.
Okay, so on today's episode, we started the engine finally. We think the transmission may work. We're not 100% certain on it, but we saw some stuff that looked positive. And the next episode...
In the next episode, we should be finishing attaching the motor, which right now it is attached.
Got a couple more bolts.
Mustache bar. But we're hopeful that we'll get this thing moving. We're going to thank Jose for being our first sponsor.
Oh yeah, that's right. Our neighbor Jose.
He gave us some gloves, and we're really grateful. And also, we have 2 bolts from the back bumper, which I think might be original.
Yeah.
We're doing a giveaway for the first 2 comments on this video. They're gonna get the bolts shipped.
First 2 comments that say they want the bolts.
Yeah. Well, leave a comment, like it, please subscribe.
Or subscribe, or
somewhere around here.
Subscribe.
I might not even put it here. And just thanks for watching.